Welcome everybody, it's Friday, May 22nd. Let's see if my sound is all working correctly. As soon as this stupid ad finishes. I mean, as soon as this wonderful ad that's supporting the stream finishes. I don't think I actually get any money from these ads, so they're not really supporting me, but I seem to be watching it in Inception. That means it's streaming me. Alright, let's see, can I hear me? Cool. Alright, sound's working. Here's my streaming checklist. For those of you that want to stream, this may be helpful to you, so I'll paste it in here if you want. Surly Dev, good to see you. We did all these things. Made sure I've got water. Set my show title. There's a way to show the title in the chat. What's the command for that? Don't I have a commands bot? You can find a list of all commands there. Well, that's not helpful. Look at all my commands. Is it game? Well, there's a way to see the stream info here. And I can never remember what it is. Title? Maybe it's title. Game didn't do anything. Hey, updating eShop. Hey, that's what we're doing. Perfect. Alright. So, let's see. We got through all that. Close that. If any of you watching this are interested in working with me and a group of other people on getting better technically and professionally, check out devbetter.com. It's a private group coaching program that I run. We don't have a ton of members, probably about 10 people. But if you want to join, check it out. We meet once a week for a group video call, and then also during the week we have a Discord channel that we have discussion and questions and answers and whatnot. If you're looking for old streams of mine, all my streams go here, occasionally other videos as well, but all the streams from Twitch end up on YouTube because Twitch only keeps them for 2 weeks. So look for me, youtube.com/Ardalis. You can subscribe, you'll get notified when there's new videos. And then you can watch these at 2 times speed, so you can get through them even faster and not have to spend as much of your time. But you can't ask questions live that way. Most of the stuff I talk about on my stream tends to be .NET, C#, ASP.NET. Those are my main areas of focus. We talk about Pluralsight course topics, because I read a lot of courses for Pluralsight, like design patterns and things like that. Today, we're going to look at this eShopOnWeb sample app. So this is a reference application that I've maintained for Microsoft with my friend Eric Fleming, who works with me on it. And it's meant to show you how to do a best practices monolithic architecture, so not microservices with lots of different containers interacting. If you're looking for that, we have that too. It's called eShop on Containers, and it's in this same .NET architecture repo. So if you go in here, you'll see there's eShop on Containers, there's eShop on Web. eShop on Containers gets a lot more love, so go leave a star for eShop on Web so I don't feel as bad. But honestly, 99% of the apps that most people are going to be writing should be these monolithic style apps. They don't need to be architected with microservices and everything in mind. And in any event, even if you do need to build something a little more substantial, it's probably a good idea to build a modular monolith first, and this kind of sets you up to do that, right? It has a lot of nice patterns and things that are in place. So one thing it doesn't use right now is Blazor. This week, Microsoft shipped Blazor for Webassembly. And Blazor, Webassembly, release. This just happened. That's a release candidate. Yeah, where is it? Microsoft releases. That's still a release candidate. Well, they released it at Microsoft Build. There we go, way down there. Telleric's talking about it 2 days ago. So, yeah, this came out. And Dan Roth has a blog post about it that I thought would come right up, but I'm not seeing it. But anyway, it's now available, so we're going to update the sample with that. All right. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Zero Noctis. Tony Davis, any announcements you found particularly interesting from MS Build? I talked about some on my newsletter that went out on Wednesday. So I don't necessarily have a easy link to, do I? There we go. Here's a link. View this email in your browser. Alright, so here's my newsletter I just sent out. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, it's ardalis.com/tips, and I send it out every Wednesday, and it's just a real short email with some links to stuff. Usually things I'm working on, sometimes news. In this case it was news from Build. So there's some links to some different summaries. One of these I know was actually from 2019. Yeah, this first one here was actually a 2019 link. Oops. But these other two were from 2020. For me, the biggest things were Blazor WebAssembly and this new Maui platform, this evolution of Xamarin Forms that's going to basically be part of .NET 5. So you'll be able to build XAML-based, Xamarin-style apps for any platform, and it'll just be native as part of .NET 5. There's some Teams updates talking about Graph APIs and GraphQL, which I thought was interesting because I recently wrote about that. We're going to look at Blazor WebAssembly today. And then the other big one, which I didn't mention in here because I hadn't watched the video yet, is the new stuff in C#9. So if you look at Dustin and Mads, MS Build video C#9, let's see how my searching is. Features, it's this one, top hit. So go check out this video and check out some of the new stuff that's coming in C#9. There's also a blog post about it. So it's a video. Let's try that. That's 2018. That's 2014. Let's try settings or tools from the last week. Maybe? No. Those are not the links I'm looking for. Oh, there's a blog post about it. I've got it open somewhere. But it's the same as what's in this video. But the video is good. Watch the video. It's got some nice demos. The coolest thing that's coming in C#9, from my opinion, is record types, which currently use a data keyword. But they have support for creating immutable types finally, so you can use those for value objects and not have to manually implement immutability. Right? So they're immutable by default. You can create one from another one, so it'll automatically do the cloning that you need to create one from an existing one, without changing the first one. So I think that'll help a lot with DDD style stuff. Here's the link to this newsletter, if anybody else wants that. And I already gave you the link to subscribe. And the other thing every newsletter has is like, here's my latest blog posts, podcasts, episodes, streams, and such. So you can check all that out. Thanks for the question, Tony. Hopefully it answers your question. In terms of my schedule for today, I've got a call at 2 o'clock, so I've got to wrap this up quick. So alarm's going to go off a few minutes before 2 p.m. for me. And I'm going to have to find somebody to raid with whoever's joined us here and go from there. Getting into what we're working on, there's a set of issues that I pulled up that are on my list to take care of. They're in these other tabs. I'll jump into those in a minute. The more interesting thing, I think, is going to be adding Blazor to this application. So let's run the application first to kind of show you what's there for those who haven't seen it. So here's Solution Explorer. It should all be up to date. I think I did a pull on it already. Do that again. Web is startup project, so we'll just run this app. And it should pop up in some browser. What do you mean there's build errors? Shouldn't be build errors. Code Rushed is online. He's always online. Miller's got lots of time. I'm not rating him right now. We'll see if he's online in a couple hours. Alright, that's not helpful. Let's try to rebuild. Sometimes Visual Studio just gets confused. Like, if this fails, I'm going to go run it from the command line, and I'll bet you it'll work just fine. Wait for it. Alright, now it's blowing up for other reasons. Okay, let's try here. Solution file, yep. There's only one solution file. Nope, same error. Alright, well that's good. Bootstrap library could not be resolved by the unpackaged provider. I have no idea what that is. Alright. What would cause that? I was going to try a different version of Visual Studio, but this is working in the console too, so it's not a Visual Studio thing. Library could not be resolved by the unpackaged provider. Anybody seen that before? What does that even mean? Some client-side thing. That's from 2018. What time is it for me? For me, it is just after noon. It's 12:10. How do you set up PowerShell to show the Git branch? That is using poshgit. So if you do go to Chocolatey is the way to install that kind of thing, and then do poshgit, and here it is. So first install Chocolatey if you don't already have it, and then just run choco install poshgit. Posh is PowerShell, and then Git, so it adds Git extensions to PowerShell. It's a nice tool. Alright. Library manager issues. Which one of these? Why am I getting this issue now and I didn't get it before? You're managing SignalR library with libman, which restores files. SignalR could not be resolved. Alright, let's look for that specifically. It looks a lot like this. Let me try a new window. Need all that. Do I have to install something locally to get libman to work? New version is available. You can update libman. Alright, let's try that. .NET Tool Update Global Library Manager CLI. You had libman issues after using my latest clean architecture project template. Really? Did that work? Successfully installed. Alright. So work now when I build. It's frustrating when you get stuck before you even get started. Now it works. Alright, so apparently libman was out of date. Let's see if this works now. And like that would be a blog post or real short Stack Overflow Q&A of if you find this error, here's what you should do. Maybe I'll make a note of that. So I can just throw that on a Trello card while I still have the thing in my clipboard. I don't know if I'll have time to get around to it, but blog libman error and fix. And what was the fix? The fix was .NET Tool update, and the error was, where's my error? That. Be the shortest blog post I ever wrote. But you know why I'm going to make it? Because this is going to hit me again in a month on a different computer, and I'm going to totally have forgotten what I did. And it'll save me time. Alright, so everything worked. Alright, let's see if we can actually run this thing now. So that's the browser I want. Yeah. So I'll run the eShop. And I literally just ran the eShop stuff this morning. So something changed when I did get latest. Yay, it worked. Alright. What you may not know, where'd my chatty window go? Alright. What you may not know is that there's actually an admin view for this. So I've shown this demo before, and many of you have probably seen it. Right? You can filter things here. You've got paging. You can add stuff to your basket. You can log in. And if you log in with this credential here, demouser, or demo user, then you get a normal experience. But if you log in with admin at Microsoft.com and the same password, log in there, now you can go here, and notice these buttons all just change to edit. Alright, so we can edit this Roslyn red sheet. I don't know why it says sheet. That's a pin. Save that. Oh look, it's a Roslyn red pin. And then if we leave admin and just go to the main store, now there's a Roslyn red pin that you can add. So that's kind of cool, right? So what I would like to do is make that a much nicer edit experience, like a grid. I don't really like this layout for the edit experience personally. It's like not easy to find the one you want. There's also no searching capabilities in here, so it might be nice to add some kind of filtering to be able to get to the one you want, other than these two filters. So we'll look at that. But let me see. If I run this other app here, I'll show you what the catalog, what I want it to look like. So here's pretty much what I want this to be. And this is already implemented on another sample app. And the thing about this is a Blazor on the server side, so it's not using HTTP, and it's hitting a different database actually. So if I edit this, you'll see that it's different, but you can see the experience is a little different setup here. The other thing is when you hit save, it doesn't actually close the window, which you have to hit cancel. But that's fine. We'll fix that on mine. But you can see it updated sheet 2 and sheet 3, so it all worked, and that's using just a direct DB context to do that. So my goal today is to take this implementation and put it into this store. So that it's using Blazor. And we want to use client-side Blazor, which means we'll probably have to develop some API endpoints for this Blazor to talk to. Alright. And if we have time, I also want to look at some of these issues. So the issue stuff is probably less interesting for you, I'm guessing. But let me just look at what they are real quick, and then if there's any that are really quick to do, I'll knock one out along the way here. So first one is confusing information in the book. Please remove. Can this page be changed to be like this other page? Okay. Yeah, alright, that makes sense, but I'm not going to do that right now because that's boring. The error messages don't make much sense. There's a little information about error message returned by strongname.ex. That's not me. Why is that on my list? No, I'm not messing with that. Blazor description is wrong. That sounds like what we're doing. Description of Blazor is incorrect. Server-side Blazor has nothing to do with WebAssembly. Alright, that sounds fair. I don't know what you're referencing, but I'll yield to DR. Who's DR? Oh, Dijkstra. Okay. Alright, so I can fix that. That's an easy fix. Control not shown. I don't know what that one is. ID, clarify. Current documentation, ID and ID are recommended, not clear when and used as part of the IO stream example. Please add a similar example of how ID differs from IO. This seems fairly pedantic. I don't know that I'm going to be the person that's going to make it or break it for everybody as to whether or not they should capitalize the D. Example code is not relevant in here. Yeah, this doesn't refer to me either. Alright. A couple of these I can fix. The Blazor description one, that's got me all over it. I can't assign myself, but I will make sure that everybody knows that I will work on this. But not today, not on stream. That doesn't sound very interesting. So let's get back into taking this and turning it into this. Alright, so I have over here a controller for, or is it a page? A page, there we go, it's a page for admin. And the admin page basically mirrors the home page and shows all the different items. And then it adds a button. Where's the button? Or is it using a sub panel? Partial, there it is. It's using this edit catalog partial. So here is the edit catalog partial, which looks a lot like the regular catalog item partial, which is probably this product one. Yep. But the difference is the edit one has this button that says edit. Now we don't want any of that really, because we want to use more of a grid layout. And so the first thing we want to do is make this into a Blazor page that looks like the grid. And let's see, this index.razor on my other one looks kind of like this. It injects a catalog service and has a table view with a name and all the different things. And I think that's what I want instead. And that's pretty straightforward. And then there's a pager to page through the things. And then here's the work to do the paging. Using this service. I don't see the service. There it is. On load page we call the service with the page size and index. Alright, so that makes sense. Is it me or did my music get louder? It's already at 3%. Only at 1%. Alright. Yeah, so let's just take this as a starting point and add our table and see if we can get this data in here. We're still going to use a service for this. We're going to inject a service, but we're going to use client-side Blazor, and we're going to make sure that our service doesn't talk to EF directly. It's going to use a web service to get a list of items from the catalog. So here's a Blazor app that I built with client, and it is injecting just a straight HTTP, which might be enough. Probably it's enough. We'll see. It's just that. Alright. It looks fine. Alright, so we're going to make this real simple to start. Pull this off to the other window. And in here, instead of all this stuff, we're going to add a table. Do I still want to have the hero thing? I probably do. So we'll keep that section. We'll keep the filters section because we may want that. And this container class is where we'll do the work. And we're going to want a place where we can also add a new item. That might be something I could put in here. This thing only does gets though, and I want the new item to be Well, no, that's okay. It'll just be a get. There's that. Let's see what this does. We'll add this. And this link isn't going to work, but go to admin create. That might work. Probably I want that to be... No, that's probably fine. If we do nothing else, let's see what that does. Me doing front-end design is not always a good thing. Do I kill the web server? Waiting. Still running IS Express, right? Oh, there it is. It's running. Alright, why are you waiting so long? Alright, I was expecting a button here-ish, or a link anyway. What did I do wrong? Maybe it doesn't want to be in a P tag inside the form? That should be alright. Index under admin. I'm still under admin, right? No, I'm not. I went out of admin. That's why. That's why. Back to the admin. I gotta view the right page. Alright, now I'm in the admin page, and it's still not there. No, no different. Alright. This really is pages, admin, index, right here. We'll rebuild everything. Yeah, quarantine looks gone. Wife gave me a haircut. Actually turned out better than I had expected. So Ace Flames here. Hair was getting way too out of hand. Alright, look, that showed up. So why does my P tag not show? It's probably like scrolled down or something. Let's get rid of the P. That maybe doesn't need to be there. I was keeping it because of this link wrapper. I don't know what that does, but I was figuring it did something. Let's do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's just do one of those. See what that does. I shouldn't have to rebuild. Why is it waiting so long? It shouldn't take a rebuild. I look sharp. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how long this quarantine's gonna last. Thanks to my wife. Yep, for a lot of things. Alright, there. That looks awful, but it showed up. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep that there, but look at that. We have a button. Alright, now let's do the table. The table is more interesting. We will clean that up to be prettier. I don't think that's helping. So now, I don't care if I have any catalog items. I'm going to show the table anyway. So in here, let me just steal the beginning of this table. I suppose if I have no items, I could show one of these. Right? So if my model, it's just going to be a local. Jeff, you subscribed. Awesome. Thanks, man. R.I.P. the Druid cosplay. Yeah, I think the beard added about 10 years to my apparent age, though, so this is better. Alright, so if paginated catalog items equals null. There's got to be a better way to do this with null reference types. Alright, and really, it's if it is null, and there's not any, alright, that's what I want, then do this. Now I can make that happen real easy, because that paginated items isn't really even a thing yet. Let's see, And this is still a Razor page, not a Blazor thing. It's a CSHTML, not a Razor. So I gotta change that. Do I need anything here? No, I don't need any of that. So I'm gonna delete the code behind, I think. And we're gonna change this to be a Razor file. Which it claims is not supported. And it's still a page. See if that matters. And we need to give it this paginated item. So down here at the bottom, we'll just say @code, which is what it's supposed to be, right? Yeah. Like that. But why don't you like this? Code does not exist in the current context. Over here, it's all nice and syntax highlighted. It's index.razor @page. So why is it not here? Looks right. I need that list of items. So we'll steal this from this other project. And I'm just going to make this a list of catalog item for now. But you're really not happy with this Blazor page. Do I have to change something to bring in support for Blazor? Maybe. Let's see, what do I have to do to add Blazor? Nothing there. Net Core App 3.1 should be good. Language version doesn't matter. Yeah, so this other eShop on Blazor thing I keep looking at is there's nothing here that matters. It has autofac, EF, log4net, and logging. That's not Blazor stuff, so none of that should matter. But this works just fine. Since I shaved, quarantine is over now. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Why is this one color-coded differently than the other one? This is my preview Visual Studio. And so is this. And here's my file new Blazor app, and it's got a Razor, and it's got an app page, and it's under pages. And all that stuff is the same as this. So now I'm in pages, index.razor. Let's just try building and see. Why does it not think @code is a thing? Why is it not recognizing this as a Blazor file? Alright, catalog item could not be found. That's fine. I could fully qualify it, I think. So there's an entity called order item. Maybe it's order item. No, it's not order item. It's the catalog item. It's right there. Let's try fully qualifying it. I know I can use a using statement, but identifier expected. Oh yeah, well, I shouldn't do those things, should I? Those are Razor page things. Maybe that's what's telling it. No? Those should be fine. All this model stuff's gonna not work though, so let's get rid of that. Alright. It still doesn't know what a list is, so somehow I gotta pull that in. A Column 1983, thank you for following. Watching me stumble around here, not knowing what I'm doing. You know what? I'm going to comment these two things out. So I don't have those yet. And if they're going to run client-side, I'm going to need to have services to populate them. And this ought to work, because that is right there, right? I mean, it works fine on this one, where it has this paginated thing, and then it refers to it here, but also here. It's a field. At page, alright. At page slash, that's all the same. If I knew why it wouldn't do code, I would know what the answer is. Because I can't find this, because it's in this code block, and it doesn't know what that code block is. It's at code, or is it just code? It should be at code, right? Yeah, it's right there. I don't think I misspelled it. Copy paste doesn't help. Page directive expects a string surrounded by double quotes. You mean like that string? Page. Thank you for the follow, nullable object. It's a good design pattern. Right, the name code does not exist. List catalog does not have a definition for data. Oh, well, that's true. Get rid of that. The question is, why don't you know what code is? Well, now you're going to build successfully. How are you building successfully when this thing's still full of errors? Everything's fine. Alright, yeah, there's a Visual Studio bug. Come on, Visual Studio. What do I have to do here? If I restart, is that going to help? I'm already on the latest one. Pretty sure. 16.7, preview 1. It was last updated 3 days ago. So, why don't you work? Let's close everything and see if I can reopen it. Alright, so in Pages, Admin, Index, open that. Ooh, look at that. Close and reopen worked. Alright, cool, cool. It's a feature. Alright. It's just Visual Studio making me think I'm an idiot. Alright, and look, we're broken again. I really thought I could get away with that. So how do I do that using in Blazor? Is it the same as in Razor? Can I use a view imports? Can I just do that? I really wanted to use a view model anyway, so maybe I should do that. Maybe it's just create a view model for this thing. We haven't even gotten to where we're going to have the things. Let's see, where's my view models? Right here. Catalog, item, view model. Name, picture, price. Let's just start with that. Alright, so let's just take this using. Now this view import apparently is not being used by Razor, or else it would have picked this up. So, or Blazor rather. So maybe I can do that, and if I make this a catalog item view model. No, that's not what I said. View model. Now you're happy? Closing the tab and reopening normally works for me. It is frustrating. Yes, it is. Coder number 1. Boom. More stuff blowing up. Okay, so you're telling me this is going to happen more than once. Well, yeah, that's okay. I want it to be null. I really do, because I want to see this no data was returned thing. So let's just run this thing and see what we get. If it'll let me run. Alright, we're back to here. We go to admin. And it fails because why? I'm logged in. That link doesn't even work. Oh, I know why, because yeah, this fails. Do I need... I'm betting this thing has no idea that it's actually in that folder. Like Razor Pages knows that I'm in this folder, so that's my route. But I don't think Blazor knows about that. So I think you gotta tell it. Nope. Alright, so how do I route to a Blazor page in a particular spot? Because that really should be routing to where I'm going, you would think. Let's see. Blazor, Webassembly, routing. Blazor routing. Oh, well, that's probably helpful. Alright, there are some things I didn't set up yet. Like mapping endpoints for Blazor. That would be good. So, I didn't look at the startup page on my Blazor app. So let's go look at my startup page. Blazor app client. Okay, what about the server? See, I'm doing them both in the same spot. Razor Pages, I got that. Routing, Razor Pages, fallback to index. I don't know what that does. Use Blazor framework files. Sounds like something I might want though. Alright, let's go look at the other eShop on Blazor, because that's more set up the way I am. Let's see what it's got. So it's got server-side Blazor configured, which is cool. And I might want to show that also. What was the question again? My question is, why is it not routing to /admin when I put that in the route for the Blazor page? Right? So under Razor Pages, that works fine. But right now, this at page /admin is not working because I'm getting a 404 when I try and go there. So I'm assuming that I don't have the route set up right. I haven't configured the endpoint. So this is the one that works, that I showed you. And here is where it's configuring that, and it says map Blazor hub. I don't know what that is, but I think I need it. So let's go over here in my startup. Configure. I got Razor Pages. Configure. Where's my endpoints? There's my endpoints right here. Let's add that. Map Blazor hub. That creates the SignalR hub. Oh, you're right, that does. That's only going to be for server side, right? SignalR hub for server side, I'm guessing. So here, Blazor server. Alright, what about Blazor WebAssembly? How do I route to a Blazor WebAssembly page? The app.razor file when the app is first created. Okay. Thanks for the follow, Nidra Nerd. I don't have an app.razor file. When I created this thing, it created an app.razor file, which I probably need. In fact, I think I can steal this one as is. And it's just in the root. No, I don't want that. The other one, eShop on Blazor, also has an app.razor. Looks very similar. I would say identical. So I think I need one of these. So let's go back to eShopOnWeb and let's add one of those to my root. So we're going to add a new item, razor component, like that. Alright. That's what it was. App.razor, app.razor. That looks good. I don't think I need the SignalR hub. You're telling me that's SignalR. I shouldn't need SignalR for client-side WebAssembly Blazor. So back to my what I want. Let's go here. Let's build it. Is app.razor all I need? I still don't know what's going to route me to this guy. Maybe he can't be in this root page. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe he needs to be admin.razor. Maybe. Libman is still blowing up. That's annoying. I thought I fixed that. Now, I am running a preview version of Visual Studio. I might have better luck if I get out of the preview build. I was figuring it would give me the latest and greatest, but it might not quite be ready to go. Doesn't like app.razor at all. Alright, I will point out that I am not an expert at Blazor WebAssembly. This is me learning here. So, I'm sure some of you probably know it better than I do, and you can help me out. I'm going to restart this in my other Visual Studio that's not preview. Nullable obj, routing in Blazor. Is that with WebAssembly? So this is saying that I do need that SignalR thing, that map Blazor hub. I thought I would only need that for a Blazor server app. Right? That's what that's saying, Blazor server. Yes, I was just there, dude. Says you always need it. Okay. Also says you need it. It'd really be better if Blazor WebAssembly and Blazor Server had totally different names and didn't have Blazor between them, because it does not make it easy to find the correct documentation when they're commingled. Alright, maybe I need the preview version because it's not liking this at all. That's pretty much the same error I got on the other one. I really don't think turning this on is going to change any of that from a compiler standpoint. Nope. Well, maybe the other one was a better choice. Go back here. Open it again. Yeah, it's no different. Alright, what am I doing wrong here? Build, rebuild. Don't care about libman. I would just like to add a Blazor Webassembly file to my existing application. How do I do that? Okay, it doesn't like any of those things. But in Blazor App 1, they all work fine. What about imports.razor? Maybe I need that. That could be useful. In fact, that could be the thing that gives me those namespaces I can't find. So underscore imports.razor in the root. Alright. Add new item. Blazor. I've already forgotten what it was. Underscore imports. Alright, without those, but those were where these lived. And so maybe I need my root namespace. So instead of those, I need at using, and then whatever this namespace would be here, perhaps. Something like that. Microsoft eShopOnWeb does not exist. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong place. I want this one. There we go. Alright. And theoretically, if I close these and reopen them, I'll get better IntelliSense, maybe? Yep. Yeah, ish. That's better. Type of program.assembly, that sounds good. Main layout is not a thing. Alright. Main layout is a Razor file. I need that. Alright. Let's put that in shared, I guess. Or under admin. I think admin could have its own main layout, because I'm not doing it anywhere else. So, main layout. I'll put it in here. Alright, and it can look a lot like this. Nope, nope, nope. Ironically, VS on the Mac is more stable. Yeah. I got a Mac sitting here right beside me, but I don't think I'm going to try and get this going on there. Alright, we're going to comment out nav menu. I'm hoping that's commented out. And see what we get now. JSON doesn't exist. There's no such thing in here. What are you talking about? Webassembly doesn't exist. JSON doesn't exist. Why is this hard? JSON and WebAssembly don't exist. Because why? No, you brought in all these things. There we go. That's why. So let's try pulling those over. I didn't look at the client one last time. I only looked at the server. So we got plenty of other references to things in here. Let's add one more, but not right there. Over here. WebAssembly, build, dev server, JSON. Let's try that now. I wonder if there's a doc for adding Blazor WebAssembly to an existing ASP.NET Core app. There probably ought to be. Coder 1, was this originally a Razor Page project or a Blazor server-side project? This currently has no Blazor in it at all. So it's a ASP.NET Core, MVC, and pages, right? So it's got some MVC controllers, it's got some areas, it's got identity controllers and pages, I guess just pages, and it's got Razor Pages. Right? A lot of the stuff's in Razor Pages, but not everything, right? It's a sample app, so it shows off a few different ways to do things. Okay, so cannot convert a lambda expression to the intended delegate type. Where the heck does it see a lambda expression? There's no lambda in here. Main layout could not be found. Well, I put it right there. And of course it's not getting any IntelliSense. Does it really need to be in shared? Let's try putting it in shared. Okay. You didn't move. Why won't you copy paste? He asked. Seriously? Visual Studio, you're killing me. Look at this, Visual Studio. Here's this thing that you ought to be able to do. But I had to use another tool to do it. Of course, it didn't help any. Convert lambda, main layout. Alright, why can't you find main layout? Something in imports Razor. Show up pages. Dot shared. Okay. Is that where you're going to live? Does it not like server-side Razor pages working with WebAssembly pages? Is that the biggest problem? Alright, found main layout. Now we're back to the stupid SignalR libman problem. I'm just going to rip out libman because I don't care about client-side crap right now. I just want the thing to build. And now it works fine. Great. Okay. I'm sure it'll work perfectly when I run it. Let's find out together. Alright, where are you going to actually open this browser? Here we go. Great. Good job. Looks like it worked perfectly. 44315 is right here. And now you just don't work at all. Nope, nope. Alright, well, you've killed my entire app, Blazor. Let's see. Here you're accepting these requests, but they're not going anywhere. What happened to my index page here in Pages? Is Blazor somehow stealing that? So here's my endpoints. I got controllers, I got Razor pages. Stop IIS. Let's run this again. Let's figure out why all my routing is totally screwed now. Alright, so that's obviously not going to work. Executing endpoint fallback. Ah, okay. I didn't give it a fallback. Okay, so we had a fallback on this one. There we go, that. Fallback to file. So if we come over here and we say fallback to file, I don't have an index.html, but we could say index, maybe? Does this thing even have an index.html? Is there a wroot with it? Yes. Okay. So we could put in one of these, but really I just want it to fall back to my Razor page. This isn't going to work because I don't have that file. But I don't want to have to add a file either. I've already got an index server-side Razor page that should work. Libman just randomly fails. Libman intermittently fails. Yes, it does. Yep, I agree with that. Alright, this is obviously a known issue. I wonder if that's the issue. I doubt it. Am I using Bootstrap or Twitter Bootstrap? No, it's Bootstrap. 441. I should probably upgrade because I'm on 337. It's kind of old. It's been 2 years and nothing's been done about this. Yeah, I know. I feel your pain. Does anybody else run into these libman issues? For client-side Blazor, since you need the map Blazor hub, you also need the Blazor server JS file in host.csh. I don't know. I will look for that in a minute. I'm trying to get past this stupid libman issue. I do not have a proxy set up. Just FYI. Alright, that's frustrating, but I don't know what to do to fix it, other than maybe just get rid of my libman. Like, guess what? You're now libman.json too. Good. Don't do anything. Hey, look, everything works. Got a little error up here. It says, warning, libman does not exist. Your build might succeed. Alright. You're thinking I need an underscore host.csh.html. Over here, there is no such thing. Here's my client. In the client, I have an index.razor. Now, on my app that I'm going to build, I don't want it to be in the root of the site. I want it to be in just the admin page. Right? I want a single page application that lives at the /admin route. So I have an app. It says load this, find the route data. And show this if we don't find my route on the client. I have imports. This is at /fetch data within this Razor page. I don't have a Webassembly host builder. I probably need one of those. Yeah, I probably need this. Let's see. eShop on Blazor. Did you do that? Nope. Nope. But you're only doing server-side Blazor. So I can't take you as a good example. Coder1, are you still with us? You are. Where are you talking about this underscore host.cshtml? That's not a thing. So where'd you get that from? I do think that in program.cs, that was in the project template for server-side Blazor project. I'm not using that though. Alright, so in here, if I had just a Blazor client, it would have this. And I would tell it that its root component was app, and I would run this thing. But how do I run it? How do I run both of them? So I did a search, and I'm getting this, and I can add Blazor components to existing things, but this is from way long ago. So let's only look for in the last month. Okay. So there's Blazor WebAssembly 3.2 is now available. Yay! Right, but how do I add it to an existing app? Yeah, I can create a new WebAssembly. I did that already. If you have an existing WebAssembly, you can upgrade it. That's great. Do all this cool stuff. Okay. Alright. How do I add it to an existing thing? That's the question. Okay, he wants to go from WebAssembly to server. I'm not sure why. Fallback to page. That looks interesting. I wonder if that's what you were talking about, Coder. So eShopOnWeb in startup, instead of fallback to file, you could do fallback to page. Index. See what that does. Nope. Alright, so everything is broken and nothing works. And I don't know what I did to cause that. That's out of there. I didn't change program CS. I only changed a little bit of startup. And I mucked around in here by adding an app razor and some imports. But there's no reason why this route to index page should be broken. I didn't remove my razor pages endpoints. They're still right there. So why would I kill all my routes? What did I do? Executing endpoint fallback. Alright, so that fallback, but I got rid of that. There is no fallback. Okay. Execute an endpoint fallback. Alright. Why is it doing a fallback? I want to say this thing's just confused. Let's look at my changes. I moved stuff out of admin. I added a main layout. I got rid of libman. Is libman breaking things? I don't think so. In web I added... Well, I renamed that. And I added some dependencies. I added an imports razor. There's nothing here that should break routes for everything else. I wouldn't think. Execute an endpoint, fallback, path, non-file. Man, this is turning out to be a lot more annoying than I thought it would be. I've gone over an hour and I got nothing working. It's very annoying. I feel like I want to just throw all this away and get back to a good statement, a good stopping point. What do I want to do? If I stash everything... Alright, and then see if it'll work now. By default, most Blazor stuff is for complete apps. Yeah, but you really ought to be able to add just a particular thing to it, right? Can you use Blazor? Thanks, Vlado. Let's see what you got here. For only part of an app. Designed to be a platform you create a complete web application. We saw that in the last experiment when we created a standalone thing. Alright, okay. It's possible to do it. Right, this thing loads up the Webassembly JavaScript. And I have to drop the app somewhere. That makes sense. So I need to have something to host this thing. So we'll just add a page called search and put in some HTML. Boom. Okay. Ace Flame Seer. How frequently is Blazor used in the industry? Is it a good investment for a beginner to learn it as well, together with all the JavaScript framework hell? Well, the jury's out on that, right? Microsoft is hoping that people will use it, but right now, it's brand new, so it's not being used much at all yet. The let me just show you what Blazor looks like, so you can see what the we'll just do a new one. So let's create a new Blazor project. Let's forget about trying to add client-side Blazor to my existing thing, because that's apparently harder than it should be. And I'm probably just missing some key steps, like adding an HTML file to host it. Well, let's create a new Blazor app in Visual Studio. We will, sure, save those things. When you create a new Blazor app, you can choose whether it should be a Blazor server app or a Blazor WebAssembly app. Like I just pointed out, I think it's annoying that those two things, which are completely different, have the same name associated with them. So finding documentation and samples for the one that you care about is tough. But let's do the WebAssembly one. That's the new cool thing. We'll say it's ASP.NET Core hosted, and we'll create it. So ASP.NET Core is going to host it, so it's going to add all the stuff to startup to host the thing. And we're going to have two pieces to it. We're going to have the client thing, it's the front end application, and we're going to have the server, which it's going to communicate over the wire with. And so let's just run it and verify it works. This demo is pretty straightforward, right? So here you go, Blazor demo running. It's got a counter, it's got some data. This data actually is being sent from the server down to the client. They're both on my machine, but that's how it's running. Now what's cool about this is we can come in here and we can go find the page where it's fetching the data, and we can add a breakpoint around where it fetches that data. So we'll do 2 breakpoints, right before we go fetch the data and right after we got the data. Alright, and then we'll go into our controller that has this endpoint. Here's our GET request, and we're going to put a breakpoint right there. Now we're going to debug. And this is like one of the most compelling demos, I think. Because if you don't know JavaScript, you're not really a big fan of JavaScript, you'd like to be able to build rich applications that run in the browser and communicate with your APIs, because C# developers, ASP.NET developers, we're pretty good at writing APIs, right? And yeah, you can also, as Vlado is writing, you can also interop with JS if you need to. So if there's some cool JS library for doing, 3D graphics or Google Maps or whatever, then you can totally call into that. But here we're going to hit this fetch data endpoint. And this is in Blazor, right? So this is running in the client. So even just this navigation is not going to make a call out to the server. I'm just navigating around inside this single page application. So I hit fetch data, and now I'm going to make this is on the client, this fetch data.razor. I'm going to hit this breakpoint that says, hey, you're about to do this thing, because we're initializing it. Alright, so we'll just continue. And now look, I'm in the controller. I'm now on the server side, still stepping through. Alright, so now I can step through and get my data, and then continue. And now I'm back on the client. So I'm in the single page application now, and I can see forecasts has this data in it, right? Here's all my data that I just got back, which was empty before. All right, and if I finish up, then here's the page, right? Here's what it's displaying. So that is pretty sweet. Now, the part that's biting me today is that I'm trying to fit this beautiful round peg into a square hole, essentially, right? Because I've got an existing ASP.NET Core app that I want to add this little bit of Blazor to, and that is vexing me and requiring me to do a little bit more work. I could probably add Blazor server-side pretty easily. For server-side, you need SignalR. With this demo, you don't. That's correct, right? If we look at this code, here's the server right here. In the server startup, we don't have any hubs, right? So the endpoints would be where we would see SignalR hubs set up, and I don't have a Blazor hub or a SignalR hub in here at all. Now, if we do this one more time, and actually if we just look at this eShop on Blazor, this one is using server-side Blazor. And if we look at its startup, you can see it's got those hubs. What else does it have? Any other Blazor stuff? Right here, add server-side Blazor. So it adds server-side Blazor services here. It adds the necessary hub here. And then it builds these pages. It's got an app.razor. It's got imports. We looked at those. And then the various pages are here for CRUD. So there's create, delete, etc. Also, in the developer tools in the application cache, I think you can see the DLL folders cached in the browser. That's true. So if we come back here and we open up browser tools with F12, and we look at the application, is it application? Or is it sources? You think it's application. Okay, where is it in application? Is it in the cache? Is it these? Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. So, yeah, here's all the different .NET DLLs that it's pulled down. I hope in the future Blazor can be added as easily as Vue in existing ASP.NET apps, but yeah, it's rather new. Still a good investment for learning, though. Yeah, I think it is, right? I'm trying to learn it. And I'm trying to shoehorn it into an existing demo, which is what's causing me all this pain. But I think once I figure out that I just need to host a file, a static file like the example was showing me here, thanks for the for this link, I think I could be good. So if I just drop this into like a /admin file, even in root of web. Well, I undid all my stuff. I gotta unstash my code. I'll work on that after this, I guess. Also, when you publish it, there are GZ and BR versions. What's BR? Vlado, BR, GZ, BR. I'm not following what you mean by that. Oh, Brotli. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so should I unstash and keep trying to do that? How do I unstash? Pop that off the stash and restore. Alright, so we're back here. And I'm going to go create a place to host this Blazor stuff. I think I'll just put it under admin.html, maybe? Like, how do I get it to route from admin? Do I have to create an admin folder under www root? And put an index there? Let's try that. So admin. Let's add a new HTML file. There we go. And for now, let's just do this. Alright, let's run this thing. Now if I go to /admin, maybe it'll do that. Alright, so here we are. Boom. Matched multiple endpoints. Well, that's helpful. Okay, so pages admin index. That's a thing. And this route is probably not good. Let's just make this that. I don't have anything else that should have matched that, do I? In general, Blazor looks promising, but in your case, you're pretty adventurous. Well, I didn't think it would be that hard, honestly. Like, I already have this thing working, right? Like, it's not that ambitious to take working code in app A and try and move it into working code in app B when it's using the same model, right? This is already looking at the same stuff I want it to be looking at. Now, I am moving from Blazor server side to Blazor client side in an app that doesn't have any of that set up, which, yes, is apparently harder than I thought it would be, but is this server side or Webassembly? Exactly. I would like it to be Webassembly. This one is server side. I'm trying to take the server side example, move it into a different project, and convert it into WebAssembly all at the same time, all this afternoon, and I'm crashing and burning because it's not that easy. Alright, since I got rid of that route, what other routes are going to /admin, I wonder? Oh, and I was also fighting, for those of you just getting here, I was fighting with libman for a while here, which is frustrating. I can't access the file. Yeah, well, stop that. I don't have it running anywhere. Alright. What was locking the file? Must have been IIS. Alright. There, that works. It's progress. Okay. /index is matching two things. Maybe you don't want that anymore? Now you're locked again. Why are you locked? Shouldn't have to kill IIS every time to do this. Alright, we're back here. And now we're back to I can't find anything. So we've gone from there's too many to now there's none. That works. That's interesting. So why didn't that do it? Vlado is gifting a tier 1 sub to Ardalis' community. Awesome, man. Thank you. Live coding just subscribed. How does that work? Like, who gets it? Why does live coding get it? Was he the first one to hit something, or did it randomly pick him? I don't know how that works. Okay. I think this was causing the ambiguous one. And so use static files should automatically work. Vlado MS just subscribed. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Use default files. I thought that was implied, but maybe it's not. I'm going to kill IIS because apparently that's what we do now. Alright, we're using default files. We should be able to at least load this. But this works. That's so weird. Alright, so there we go. If we hit admin, we 3 redirect, and then we hit admin / and we 404. Why are we 404? Do I have to explicitly tell this thing what it wants? Request path. No. Options dot. Alright. It's been a while since I played with this. Does it have to go above there? Use default files must be called before use static files. Alright, fine. Fine. So one thing I don't like about this middleware setup is it's so Wild West as far as the order in which things run. If it had more like a template method pattern, then it could enforce the sequence and have the sequence be correct. Or at least where you have things that are tightly coupled middleware, like these two, it should be able to tell me, as soon as I put use default files after use static file, it should just blow up with an exception and say, in the exception, hey, this thing must run after that. Instead, I have to go Google and hit the docs, and it takes me minutes instead of seconds to figure out that that was the issue. And then never mind that it's probably still not going to work. Alright, so there's that. /admin. Hey, it did work. Alright, that's good enough for me. Alright, that's progress. Now, let's come back here. Let's steal that code. Let's put it into this guy. Yes, we got here, but also we have this app. And this app is going to run this index.razor, which is in admin. And I guess I could put it in the root. It doesn't need to be in admin anymore. It could go right there. So I've got a Razor page that's running server side in the root of pages, and I've got a Blazor Webassembly page that'll be running in the root here, and I'm expecting to see this no data return if I can get this thing to run. So do that. IIS is just being stupid. I'm not going to run it in IIS anymore, because I'm tired of that. Let's run it in Kestrel, because changing everything up while you're trying to diagnose something is the way to be successful. Alright, well that didn't work. What was your problem? SQL client is not supported. Really? Alright, well that didn't work well at all. Let's go back to IIS so I can see my logs better. I did run it. Oh yeah, that's true. And it's probably using a different SQL connection there. Alright. Still got here. That's great. And look, it tried to load Blazor. Did it succeed? Let's find out. It loaded that, and then it tried to get Blazor boot JSON and blew up with a 404. Okay, let's go back to this dude's thing. Here. We need to publish the app in release mode using .NET Publish. Yeah, I didn't do that, so I should probably do that. Grab the contents of all that. I'm going to copy this framework folder and place it in the root of our static. Well, I don't have a static site, so I should be good. I found the thing. Alright. Page equals /, yep. Update the page directive to match the route that you want it to match on in your published site. Well, I guess it's /admin. But it didn't actually work anyway. That's that. This is my page. This route should be /admin, maybe. Let's kill IIS Express. There's that. So that still works. Still gets to this. That's great. Alright. Okay, it gets the Blazor WebAssembly JS. Has an app there. But Blazor boot JSON 404s. And this is probably because I don't have the actual Blazor thing running anywhere. Maybe I need a separate Blazor client, and then I need to publish that Blazor client project. I think that might be the only way this is going to work. Because I need that. I don't have that. We just don't use the Blazor app start. How do we know when a predominant will appear? What's the app element? And we control that in our startup class, which I'm not doing. And is that in here? Add component? There's no add component here. Webassembly debugging, that's helpful. But no add component. That doesn't exist anywhere. But I do need, I'm guessing I need a WebAssembly host builder somewhere. And I don't have one of those. App.use Blazor framework files. That might be something I need. You think it's a separate magic method? I think use framework files sounds promising. Right before use static files. Alright. I don't need to introduce a local. I need to figure out where that's coming from. ASP core, yeah, okay, I need that. Right, I need the server. Okay. No. Alright, where's that thing come from? $15 till I have to have my call. Yeah, thanks, Surly Dev. How do I figure out where this came from? F12. I tried F12, it didn't work. That's F12, Tony. It's not doing anything. It should be right there. Use client server with use Blazor framework files. Alright. And WebAssembly server has it. Had to add the namespace that. Alright, let's see. I think that's what I need. I need the namespace. Yeah, it worked. Alright, good. Exit IS, because I don't know why it's doing that. Remove and sort the usings. Sounds good. Run it. No, it's not happy again. We're back to this fallback file thing. What is causing that? I should probably be committing more often so I could roll back more readily. But the only thing I added was literally this guy. And now it's doing the routes are gone thing again. Close that. Run it again. Then we're screwed. I didn't change anything else, did I? I added that. And that was it. API browser has it. Yeah. Thank you. I found it. I guess it's working. Alright, Blazor boot JSON was failing. This thing. So now routing is totally toast. These were both working fine before, and now they're not working at all. I don't know why. Yeah, they definitely don't make it easy to just host this thing directly. I think what I need to do is come look at this guy and split this out into two things. I think my admin needs to be the client. I think I need to create a separate admin. In fact, I could even start from a totally separate solution that has its own backend server and create the client and have a controller that just has the data for it. And then I just have to figure out a way to take that client and host it inside the eShopOnWeb server instead of from a standalone server. So to do that, I think all I'm going to need is nothing strange in there, nothing Blazor specific in here. So I think all I need is the startup and whatever bits that it's using. So it adds those, and it adds that, and it adds that. I don't know why it needs that index.html though, because that's in here, oddly enough. So how is the www root in the other one? There's your app. What's the magic that makes it so this server is hosting this wroot? Let's just grab the CS proj. I'm not sure why this www root is getting used by this server, since they're in separate apps. There's got to be some way that that's configured. That part's missing. Add application part. No, I mean there's nothing else to this. There aren't that many files in here. All right, there's like 6 files. App settings has nothing. Program is not doing anything but saying to go use startup. Startup starts up. Pulls in configuration, but we just saw there's nothing there. Adds these things. That shouldn't matter, those are just services. You would think in here it would say something about, using this other project, or, pull in the static files from somewhere else, or maybe this thing magically knows about it, but I don't know how. There's nothing that's like embedding this or copying it over or anything like that. So it's just weird. How does this one get used by this one? And I'm about out of time, so I'll have to figure that out. But hopefully by next week, I'll have this sorted out. Hopefully I was entertaining y'all watching me struggle through this. I did learn a fair bit about what I need to do to solve this problem, so I think I'll be able to make some progress pretty quickly now, because what I'm going to do is build the thing in its own separate project, and then I just need to figure out how does another project reference this project, right? Because I need to do this in my project, right? I need eShopOnWeb here, which already has a www root of its own. How do I get it to use this www root of another project? I don't know how to do that, so I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm an expert at some things, but I'm not an expert at Blazor, so that's definitely showing today. But thanks, Surly Dev. Speaking of things I'm not an expert at, I play a video game called PUBG. I may stream that at some point, so you can watch me suck at a first-person shooter game. So if any of you are interested in that, just subscribe on Twitch, and I guess it'll notify you if I do that. I'll be obvious about what it is, and it'll probably be in the evening in my time zone, so I don't expect I'll be doing that during the day too much. Sadly, I don't think I'll make enough gaming on Twitch to pay the bills. Alright, so let's just wrap this up. Let's go find someone we can raid. So we'll go back to my Twitch. We'll go... Let me pull this over somewhere off to the side so it's not having the inception view. And there's my timer. C# Fritz is still going. Microsoft Developer is still going. Ed Charbonneau is still going. You know what? Ed is probably talking about Blazor stuff. So let's raid Ed. And he may be done soon too, but we can at least stop in and say hi to Ed. So I'm going to do that right now. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I hope you got something out of it. I'll see you next week. Have a nice weekend. And it doesn't actually raid when I say raid. It says, hey, get ready. And now you're raiding. Alright.